Welcome to today's video, how to calculate your financial freedom number. This video is going to be awesome because I want everyone to achieve financial freedom. So I'm going to help you calculate exactly what that number is that you should be working toward. And I'm going to share the tips that helped me to achieve financial freedom. So let's dive right in. All right, I am super excited to cover this topic today because I get so passionate about helping people achieve financial freedom. We are going to cover what is financial freedom and then how to calculate your financial freedom number. And then I'm going to share the tips that helped me to become financially free in my 30s. All right, so what is financial freedom? To me, financial freedom means being able to live the lifestyle you desire without having to work for money or rely on someone else for money. And why is financial freedom important? There are a number of reasons, but a few of them are that you don't have to have a 9-to-5 job if you don't want one. Financial freedom gives you that option. You can continue to work or you can quit working. Financial freedom means that you can travel the world if you want to, or just spend more time with family, be able to take your kids to school and pick them up from school. It means that you aren't stressed about money all of the time. Financial freedom allows you to pursue your passions, whatever it is that you want to be doing. I know for me, when I achieved financial freedom, for one, I was a little surprised. I still can't believe I achieved financial freedom, but I was able to focus more on my business, focus on this YouTube channel, and create content that I want to be creating and working with people to help them be better with their money so they can become financially free. I have the choice to choose what I spend my time on. And also another reason financial freedom is great is because I don't have to wake up to an alarm clock. Unless I'm doing something special one day and I have to wake up early, then I will set an alarm clock. But I do not have an everyday alarm clock, and I love that. All right, let's get into how to calculate your financial freedom number. This is the number or the amount of money you'll need to have invested, not sitting in a savings account, but invested in order to become financially free. The way we calculate this is by taking your annual expenses in your retirement years and multiplying that number by 25, and then that would be your financial freedom number. For example, if your annual expenses in retirement are $40,000 a year, then you would multiply 40,000 by 25, which would give us $1 million. We would need to have $1 million invested in order to become financially free or retire. That is the essential formula. But a lot of people forget to take out any passive income that they already have. For example, I had an email from someone that read my book recently, and he has a pension and Social Security, but he wasn't subtracting that out from his financial freedom number. So you actually take your annual expenses, let's say they are $50,000, and then you can subtract out any passive income that you already have, or even semi-passive income, depending on how comfortable you feel doing that. But let's say he has $10,000 in passive income already. So he would take the $50,000 and subtract the $10,000 to give us $40,000 for annual expenses, and then we would multiply that by 25, which would give us $1 million, and that would be the amount he would need to have invested in order to become financially free. For me personally, since I have real estate investments, I subtracted out the amount that I was receiving, the cash flow, the positive cash flow. So after all of my expenses are taken out, I can subtract out that amount that I am receiving from my rental properties from my annual expenses. And that actually put me at financial freedom. So I don't need to be withdrawing the amounts that I have invested in the stock market because I can completely live off of the rental income that I receive. And yes, I do realize that is semi-passive. I am doing a little bit of work with my rentals. There's no way it is 40 hours a week. But if I change my mind later and I want to get a property manager, and then I would be spending less time on my properties, I could definitely do that. For now, I'm fine managing my own properties and creating a little extra cash flow for myself. Going back to calculating your annual expenses, it is a little difficult to determine what that amount is going to be during your retirement years, but we want to take our best guess. We can definitely look at our current expenses and determine if those are going to be about the same in retirement years or if some are going to drop off, like a mortgage payment or a car payment, and then some might increase, like our healthcare expenses. But we can get a really good idea on what our current expenses are and then make those adjustments and decide what they would be in our retirement years. And of course, we can make adjustments as we go along. And the reason we are multiplying our annual expenses by the number 25 is because of the 4% rule. And I have another video going into more detail about this. I will leave a link above. You can check that out later on. So comment below and tell me if you have calculated your financial freedom number. All right, now I want to share some tips with you that helped me achieve financial freedom in my 30s. The first tip I want to share with you is to set a goal to achieve financial freedom. I set a goal to achieve financial freedom by age 40, and I did it 2 years before that. But if I never would have set that goal, I never would have tried to work toward that. I wouldn't have even known I was close to achieving financial freedom. But since I set the goal, I did my homework, I did the math, I calculated what I would need. And when I was doing this, I wrote everything on a marker board. And I realized that if I got one more investment property, that would put me at financial freedom. So that's exactly what I worked toward. So set the goal to achieve financial freedom by a certain age and work toward it. And if you have to change your goal later to a later age, that's totally fine. But at least you are on the path, you know what you're working towards. The second thing I did was to invest my money as early as possible. I wish I would have done it even earlier. But nonetheless, when I figured out that I could really take advantage of compound interest and I could be successful with real estate investing, I went gung-ho on that. I did as much as I could. So really start investing your money as early as possible. It is going to make the biggest difference on you becoming financially free as early as possible. And you can keep it very simple. If you don't want to be investing in real estate and the stock market, if you just want to do the stock market, that's totally fine. Just start investing your money. And if you need help investing your money in the stock market, I have a free masterclass on how I can help you do that. I will leave a link below in the description. You can click on that and check out the free masterclass. And then the third tip that I want to share with you, and this one is kind of obvious, but yet people don't really do it. This is to live below your means. You want to have money to invest. If you are spending everything you are making, you're not going to be able to invest your money. And that isn't going to get you to financial freedom. We need to invest our money in order to become financially free because we need our money working for us so that we can stop working for the money. We want to try to avoid lifestyle inflation. And I really tried to do this. I did what was required. I made sacrifices. I did extra dishes and I cleaned up other people's messes. Luckily, I did have really good roommates for most of the time. But nonetheless, I did extra work so that I could become financially free even sooner. I didn't just think, oh, I can afford to live in this place by myself, right? I could have, but I didn't want to do that. I knew what my goal was, that very first tip that I gave you, right? I knew my goal and I wanted to get there as soon as possible. And then the fourth tip I want to share with you is to diversify your investments. And yes, I did diversify in real estate and the stock market, but I also diversified just within the stock market itself. I didn't just purchase one stock or one company. I purchased an index fund with a whole bunch of companies inside of that one index fund. And then I had a few different individual stocks that I think are really good. I really believe in those companies. And that's what I chose to invest in inside of the stock market. And then the fifth tip I want to share with you is to automate your saving and investing. This made a big difference. And what I did when I had my 9-to-5 job, I actually asked my employer to put a percentage of my paycheck directly into my savings and then another percentage directly into my checking account. So that is one way you could do it, or you can even set up an auto transfer from your checking to your savings. But once we have enough in our savings for whatever we are saving for, we want to make sure that we are investing the rest of our money. And we can automate that. That makes such a difference. If we don't have to log into our account, purchase our investment, then it's going to get done because it's automated. And this is one thing that I do talk about in my program. So if you are interested in working with me, make sure and check out that free masterclass. And then the sixth tip that I want to share with you is to keep a long-term perspective. A lot of people don't do this. They have a very short-term perspective and they get into a lot of trouble. I was able to keep a long-term perspective, and granted, I wasn't perfect at this. There were a few stocks I purchased that I thought, oh, I can make a quick win on this, right? But over time, I kept thinking, Tiffany, just keep the long-term perspective. You know what works. Keep doing what works. And honestly, that's what worked. If we are so worried about getting a quick win and making money overnight, we are actually never going to achieve financial freedom. There might be 0.00001% of people that do that get lucky, but that is not a strategy. If we have a strategy in place and we keep that long-term perspective, then we can achieve our goal of becoming financially free because we've figured out what works and we keep doing it. So when we have our money invested in the stock market and we see it drop down and then drop down even further, we want to remember it always comes back up over the long term. I cannot emphasize this enough. I get comments on some of my videos and people are really worried about the stock market and about their investments. And I understand that it can be worrisome, but if we're able to keep that longer term perspective, we are going to be so much better off. We're going to get rid of that worry because we know it comes back up over the long term. As long as we are choosing good investments, we can continue to invest in those and they will rise over time. All right, comment below and tell me if you know your financial freedom number and if you are excited to achieve financial freedom. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and share it with someone else who would like to hear this information. And hit the subscribe button to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the little bell to get notified on when I post new videos. And if you want to see even more content from me, make sure and check out the videos on the side of the screen. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.